Hello, today we will be talking about how to solve multi-step absolute value equations. In order to solve, there are a few steps. The first is to isolate the absolute value symbol. So if there's anything outside the absolute value, you need to move it to the other side of the equal sign using opposite operations. Once the absolute value symbol is isolated, then you can separate it into two equations using the definition of absolute value. Once you've separated it into two equations, you will solve both equations. When you do that, you will get two solutions. So at the end, you must go back, substitute your two solutions into your original equation so that you can check to make sure that they really are solutions and they make the equation true. So here's an example using those steps. I have 3 times the absolute value of 2x minus 4 plus 5 equals 29. Remember, step 1 was to isolate the absolute value symbol. So in order to do that, you're going to use opposite operations as if you're solving any regular equation. I have plus 5. So in order to get rid of addition, I will subtract 5 from both sides. When I do that, I'm left with 3 times the absolute value of 2x minus 4 equals 24. I'm not finished yet because the absolute value is not alone on one side of the equal sign. Therefore, I need to divide both sides by 3 in order to move this 3 over. When I divide both sides by 3, I'm left with the absolute value of 2x minus 4 equals 8. So now I have completed step 1. I have isolated the absolute value symbol because the absolute value symbol is all alone on one side of the equal sign. Once I have the absolute value symbol all alone, I can do step 2, which is to separate into two equations. Because the definition of absolute value is the distance from 0, that's how you come up with your two equations. Because what two numbers are 8 spaces away from 0? They will be 8 and negative 8. So I rewrite whatever is inside the absolute value on the left side, and then using the definition of absolute value, I know that my two equations either equal 8 or negative 8 because those are the two numbers that are 8 spaces away from 0. Step 3 is just to solve both equations. That's how you would solve any normal two-step equation. So for the first one here, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. That leaves me with 2x equals 12. And then I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. And that gives me x equals 6 as my first solution. When I solve the second equation, again, I add 4 to both sides, but this time that leaves me with 2x equals negative 4 because negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. Then I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides again. And when I do that, I'm left with x equals negative 2. So my two solutions are x equals 6 and x equals negative 2. The last step is to just check that those solutions actually make the equation true. In order to do that, you are going to substitute each variable into the original problem and check to make sure that it works. So my two solutions were x equals 6 and x equals negative 2. I'm going to substitute 6 for x in the original problem, and then I'm going to just solve that problem. First step would be to simplify inside the absolute value symbol. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then 12 minus 4 is 8. Once I get the absolute value down to just one number, I can take the absolute value of that number in order to continue. The absolute value of 8 is 8 because it's 8 spaces away from 0. And then I can finish. 3 times 8 is 24, and 24 plus 5 is equal to 29. So x equals 6 is one solution to that equation. Now I'm going to substitute x equals negative 2. I substitute negative 2 where the x was in the original problem. Again, I need to simplify what's inside the absolute value symbols first. So 2 times negative 2 gave me negative 4. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Now that I have negative 8 in the absolute value symbol, I can take the absolute value of it. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8 because it is 8 spaces away from 0. And then I can continue my problem. 3 times 8 is 24, and 24 plus 5 does equal 29. So both of my solutions are true. Therefore, the solution to this absolute value equation is x equals 6 and x equals negative 2.